So again, I got really excited and had that thought, I wonder if I can sit back up again. And once again, I found myself sitting up, halfway up my body. And so I kind of took a quick look around for hands and nothing there. But then, in a few more moments, the light came back again. Very slowly, that hand came back again. And I sort of just sat there, looking at it, wondering. I said to myself, come on, Todd, have the courage. This is an important moment in my development, surely. This is probably a guide, some high-level being who's here to sort of greet me and remind me of who and what I really am instead of just this physical meat suit. So I put my hand out. Oh, wow, look at that, another physical hand. Where did that come from? So I reached out, and this other hand grabbed hold of me, and it very gently maneuvered me away from my physical body. And then the hand let go, and it withdrew, and the light withdrew. And I was there, hovering over my own physical body, on my own, in my lounge, about 5 o'clock in the morning. It was such a deep moment for me. My whole life I believed that I was more than my physical body. This deep feeling that we all have that we are more than our physical bodies. But to have that direct experience, to remember from that sort of level of consciousness, it was really important. It was just one of those moments where it leads to sort of great change in one's belief systems. It changed it from me having to believe that I was more than my physical body to knowing that I was more than my physical body. And I found I could use that, and I did. I used that first experience as sort of a platform of inspiration to take this much further. I found that in just a week of practicing at this sort of altered time that it sort of just fumbled into because of the rash, showed me that by waking up at 4 and 5 a.m. after good maybe 6 hours of sleep, that you can actually take advantage of this sort of sleep interruption. And it can actually if you have about 6 hours of sleep, your body's refreshed, your mind's more refreshed. And this is also called the magic hour. A lot of people around the world, and this is also the time that monks get up. They know it's a very beneficial time in the morning because that the body and the mind are rejuvenated. And there's so much energy around this rest of the world from quite up, sucked up there. So within the next week, I was able to reproduce that state another 2 times. And within 2 weeks, I had another 5 experiences under my belt. So it wasn't long before I could actually sort of start to explore consistently through not just the sort of out-of-body state, but also the lucid dream state, which was very important because the out-of-body state sometimes can be very difficult to achieve by a lot of people. But I find that because we all sort of are more or less comfortable with dreaming, and we all share this as a baseline, whether you remember your dreams on a nightly basis, you do have dreams. The techniques that I teach for being able to have very simple recall to remember your dreams on a consistent basis, and I'll share those ideas with you at the end of the talk. Typically, you can go from maybe remembering just fragments of one dream to remembering 5, 10, or 15 dreams every single morning. You might think, oh, I'm pulling my leg, 15 dreams in the morning. 15 dreams actually drop in the bucket of the actual activity that we have every single night. And predominantly, the majority of people around the globe are completely oblivious and unconscious to this aspect of their lives. So, it can be very beneficial in many different ways to sort of reclaim this sort of 7 or 8 hours when we go unconscious. So I found after exploring for a few months these lucid dream states and the out-of-body state of consciousness, that my belief systems, the things that I sort of held dear, started to radically shift. Things like I was very political at the time. It was very sad that I could cry when George Bush won yet the second election. So I was very political at the time. I was also very conspiracy oriented. So I wanted to know things like, did America and the U.S. government help orchestrate 9/11? Do they actually have alien bases under Area 51 in Nevada? And these were important things to me. I was heavily focused on the paranormal, so things like ghosts and UFOs. But what I soon realized through exploring these different states of consciousness, that what I was focused on, the paranormal in particular, was just an artifact of something much, much bigger. It is just infinitesimal, it's small in comparison to reality. It's a much wider reality which can be explored through deep meditation, lucid dreaming, and the out-of-body state of consciousness. So this is what we're going to discuss tonight. We're going to go very deep down this rabbit hole of consciousness. But before we do, I think it's very important that I introduce a caveat to you tonight, and it's this. Please, 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 do not believe a single word I have to say tonight. Please. I'd rather that you experience it for yourself firsthand. Because truth does not come from hearing one speak. Truth does not come from reading a book. Truth only comes, personal truth only comes from your own direct experiences. So this is what I'd like to impress upon you more than anything. If some of the things that I go through and discuss with you tonight and share with you don't resonate with you, that's fine. Maybe just let whatever does resonate to inspire you, and let the rest of it sort of just sink to the back of your mind. Maybe somewhere down the road within the next year, maybe a powerful synchronicity will remind you of this talk tonight, remind you of that particular content that didn't seem to resonate too much. And perhaps suddenly it comes into focus and it does inspire you. So take from it what you will, but ultimately I'm here to inspire you, to perhaps provoke your thinking, whether it angers you or, like I said, maybe makes you happy that, oh wow, somebody who's in tune with my belief systems. But again, this is what we can explore with lucid dreaming and out-of-body state. We can get past this cornucopia of beliefs that we have here on planet Earth and move to a place of truth, to understand who and what we really are, to move past the semantics of the system and the drama of our everyday lives that sort of keep us in habitual patterns that probably are not serving us on a regular basis or serving other people. So, first thing I'd like to sort of talk about is what is lucid dreaming? I'm sure you're here, you probably have to read the material that was on the website and the newsletter, but just to make sure that we're all sort of on the same connection. In a regular dream, an unconscious dream, you wake up after the fact. You wake up after the dream is complete. So you're waking, you're sitting there in your bed, or lying there in your bed, and thinking, wow, that was an amazing dream. I'd love to maybe you would fall back into that dream, or have another dream, or maybe it's a bad dream. Oh, that was horrible stuff. Maybe you woke up crying because it produced such deep emotional states. It can be very powerful because the mind is not capable of differentiating between fantasy and reality. So, lucid dreaming is when you actually become aware in the moment that you're still in the dream. You haven't consciously woken up. Your physical body is still asleep. So you, in effect, you've become consciously aware within your dream, and you now have a unique opportunity to fully interact within the dream state. Direct your experience. If you don't like the dream that you're in, perhaps it's a bad dream, maybe a bit of dark sort of content, and you want to sort of move on to another environment. There's this sort of through the subconscious, you're able to render as many sort of dream sort of scenarios as you like, different dream environments, and then you can sort of create any elements that you choose, such as people, objects, and you can sort of explore in different ways. So within a lucid dream, you're conscious within the dream. And because it's subjective, there is no, in a sense, time reference. Lucid dreaming, you can actually, maybe you're only 10 minutes of sleep at that moment before you wake up. But that 10 minutes of dreaming can sometimes seem like hours, if not days, if not eternity. It's extremely subjective. So in a sense, within 10 minutes of waking life, it could be, like I said, hours and hours. So in a way, with lucid dreaming, you can get to the point by living more than a 24-hour day. And this is pretty amazing stuff if you think about it. While everybody else is being unproductive, well, they're not being unproductive, they're getting their mind, body refreshed, they're sleeping. But it's been shown that lucid dreamers, fully conscious within the dream state, and in the REM stage of sleep, which is rapid eye movement, which is associated with the light sleep, where we have vivid dreaming, the brain is actually more active in REM sleep than it is in waking life. So you'll have no ill effects by being conscious within your dreams and traveling to any locale and sort of being as energetic as you like within the dream state. It can be extremely productive. And with that, we'll get to the sort of benefits in a minute. But what about the science behind it, the validation aspect of lucid dreaming? There's a scientist named Stephen LaBerge who's been sort of studying lucid dream states and dreaming since the 1970s. And through many